死なないために死ぬほど準備することなんて絵に秘めあったことでしょう。光栄だけど買いかぶりっすよ。
Hello guys, it's me Simu Urahara, and in this video we will talk about one of the special characters in the Zero Squad, Urahara Senjumaru, or the O Origami. We will talk about her as a person, as a shape, her past, as well what might be the relationship of Senjumaru and Urahara Kisuke. And I'm not gonna lie on you guys, back then I was upset about the design of the Zero Squad members. I mean, I was expecting some badass design, especially when we talk about the Royal Guard, the Soul King, etc. Of course, that perspective has changed because I knew later that the concept of the Zero Squad was not about just charisma, design or power, but the core of their recruitment was based on their achievement in the Soul Society. But back then, when I saw the last page of chapter 516, I didn't like none of them except Urahara. I said, oh, this woman looks like a princess and a serious soldier, and the rest looked to me like some weirdos. However, in the next chapter, it turned out that Urahara Senjumaru is the weirdest one of them, especially how she was using all those instruments of music to celebrate the entry of the Zero Squad, and I'm waiting to see that scene in the anime, how they will present the entrance of the Zero Squad. And about the shape of Senjumaru, I think Kobo has taken it from the shape of the Jorogumo yokai, and this yokai is known as the Spider Woman, a spider that can take the form of a beautiful woman. Usually this woman take this form to seduce the man and eat on them. And this illustration of the Jorogumo is very similar to Senjumaru in terms of multiple arms that on their bodies. Senjumaru has multiple arms and Jorogumo has multiple legs. And I would say that the spider is distinguished by its traits, and from this point of view, Kobo may have created Senjumaru's ability to weave, and as you know, Senjumaru is called the Great Weaving Guardian. And speaking of the yokai Jorogumo, I think Senjumaru has changed her shape. We can say she's like Mayuri, and I'll speak about it too shortly, because all the indications say that Senjumaru, an old woman, maybe she's at the same age of Onohana Yachiro, and she is the only character besides Yamamoto in Ichibi that spoke about Yūhabara and spoke with him as if she knows him very well. When she started talking about Aizen Sasuke in front of Ichigo, she said Aizen is an evil, but the Quincy's will be much worse than him. And when she met Yūhabara, she said, it's been a long time, Yūhabara. And this may indicate that she is one of the few who witnessed the battle of 1000 years ago. For all of this, I have this feeling that Senjumaru was completely another person in the past. And we've seen this kind of cases. Hikofune, one of these characters that has two shapes, and also Mayuri is also a character who likes to change his look every time. And speaking about Mayuri, who knows if he inherited this habit from Senjumaru? How is that? So here we're gonna move to the next point, which is what might be the relationship of Urahara and Senjumaru. To be honest, there is no clear evidence that tell us there is a relationship between them in the first place. However, there are some vague hints that go in the possibility that there are some links between Senjumaru and Urahara. And the first of these links is Mayuri. The fact that there is a relationship between these two, it can make each one of them be the bridge to know Urahara, because Mayuri, through his conversation with Senjumaru, made me think that she's like a senpai to him. Especially in this translation, we see that she addressed him young Mayuri. From their conversation, you can see that Mayuri was annoyed by the way she spoke to him, as if he felt some lack of appreciation from her side. And I have said in a previous video that Mayuri may have been working in her laboratory many centuries ago, whether before Yūhabara's war or after it, because we mustn't forget that it was Senjumaru who invented the scale by which the Shinigami measures the levels of Holo's disappearance. That's why Urahara Kisuke may have been a person who was also a lover of science. Either he got to know Senjumaru through his meeting with Mayuri long before he got imprisoned, or maybe Urahara got to know Senjumaru in the Royal Palace. How is that? There are strong indications that Urahara Kisuke had previously existed in the royal palace in the past. His talk with Aizen about the Soul King and Kirinji's talk that Urahara copied the springs he created, all these indications suggest that Urahara at certain stage in his life he was living in the royal palace, and there where he got to know Senjumaru. And who knows, this sensitivity that Mayuri has towards Urahara started because of Senjumaru, like what happened to Siphon. How? I'll give you my own scenario. What if Mayuri had spent years with Senjumaru in her lab and was always trying to show her his skills, but all of that vanished when she was promoted to the Zero Squad and left Mayuri in the Serity, and in the Royal Palace when Senjumaru will meet Urahara Kisuke. Senjumaru was amazed at his intelligence, and Urahara was also fascinated by her abilities, especially her ability to wave and forms all those arms of her. And so, while staying in the royal palace and communicating with her, she told him that there is a person in the Soul Society who has the same passion as him, and his name is Mayuri Koritsuchi, and he has a great future in the field of science. And after Urahara returned to the Serity, he learned that Mayuri was imprisoned. And for the reason of his imprisonment, I have made a theory about it in this video. I have said that when Senjumaru went and left him alone, he started doing immoral experiments, and therefore there was no one to defend him, and so he was imprisoned. So Urahara, when he took a position in the nest of maggots, he went to him and he said that I know that you are a good scientist, etc. Because we saw in the Pendulum arc that Urahara and Mayuri knew each other very well. On the other hand, there is the similarity between Urahara's Bankai and Senjumaru's arms. Canberra Kibinihimi's figure is a doll in the shape of a woman. The joints of the Bankai's body illustrate this clearly. This is almost the same as what we find at the arms of Senjumaru. They have almost the same shape. Even more than that, don't you see that Senjumaru's waving ability is similar in form to that of Urahara's Bankai? The latter uses threads to structure things, and Senjumaru wave clothes, and we saw how she resewed the clothes of the Shanaiter Nyanzol without he noticed anything. The same mechanism of action, but with different capabilities between Urahara's Bankai and Senjumaru's ability. Could this all be just a coincidence? Very possible, but Kobo taught us that some things are intentional, and most prominent example is the similarity that was between the Osan Zangetsu and Yuaba. This is why it is possible that Urahara may have been influenced by Senjumaru when he was young, and this influence appeared to us in the ability of the Bankai, because, as I said about 2 years ago, all the Shinigami who are males and have a female Zanpakuto, we always see that there is a woman in their lives who was the direct reason of this formation of their Zanpakuto in a way or another. We have Azashiro Soya, Zaraki, Kyoraku, as well as Kisuke. And so who is this woman? Is it Senjumaru? It may be possible through what I have said in this video, and it may be something else that I may talk about it in another video. So guys, what do you think? Tell me your opinion, and see you in my next video.